Dalavina guia dolosana angito talitakini anavarong ng Bula FM at Golden Point Resort basendo nambando na here binaka.
Bula binaka na dang kutevita utunggoy 90 ando talitaka wale warong ng Bula FM nambando na sir.
Nadang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando na sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Gatabo ando talitaka na warong ng Bula FM nambando na sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. In this bulletin, 43 dead and 4 missing after tropical cyclone Winston. Koro Island still reeling from cyclone devastation. And government disappointed with FNPF response to cyclone devastation. Another person has died from severe tropical cyclone Winston, raising the death toll to 43. A man airlifted to CWM Hospital on the weekend died of the injuries he sustained. Meanwhile, the search continues for 4 others still missing from the Eastern Division. Farzana Nisha has more.
National Disaster Management Director Fbctv Fangalele says there are 899 evacuation centres currently accommodating 54,615 evacuees.
The Central Division still has the second highest with 11,952. The Western Division with the highest of 29,444. There is a dramatic increase from the Eastern Division to 9,797, and North still at 3,421.
240 schools around the country suffered damage estimated at $41.69 million. The figure is expected to increase as more assessments are made.
After we have gone through the 30 days, then the government will have to make decision again into the future. There have been a lot of damaged houses. You know, we are still counting. We have not completed for the 4 divisions. That is still coming in. The schools, the various dwellings in the communities. We know the numbers will definitely be much bigger than TC11 in 2012. We're still counting and it's still coming, so I can't give you an accurate figure there.
Tuifangalele says after the emergency relief period, the next phase is rehabilitation and recovery.
That is where the majority of the infrastructure that are still being temporarily put in place, where we have permanent structures that will be built up. Schools and communities. Government will have to decide on that as the second phase of this process that we are going through.
He says the preliminary assessment in the agricultural sector is $102 million and that also is expected to increase. Meanwhile, the people in the worst affected areas of the country have been given rations to last them for a month, some of them receiving the emergency supplies airlifted to them. Farzana Nisha, FBC News.
More than 3,000 people on Koro Island are homeless as a result of tropical cyclone Winston. Situated in the Lomaiviti group, the small island has faced the worst of tropical cyclone Winston. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama visited the island yesterday, supplying food rations, relief supplies and seeing for himself the extent of damage. Akosita Tale was part of the Prime Minister's tour and files this report.
Pictures speak 1,000 words. Koro Island, a shadow of what it was before tropical cyclone Winston. 14 villages and 12 settlements in ruin, shattered houses, broken down churches, and schools left in shambles.
As in Mundu village, the water reached right up here. We had 47 injuries. 3 people had to be airlifted to hospital, but our village headman suffered major injuries when a beam in the house fell on him.
Category 5 tropical cyclone Winston hit Koro directly. 926 houses have been completely destroyed, while 66 have been partially damaged. 8 people have died, while 2 children still remain missing a week after the cyclone. 538 people were hurt and 15 of them had to be medically evacuated to Suva for treatment. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama yesterday delivered cyclone relief items like bottled water, gas cylinders, clothes, food and other items to the affected population.
We have brought some food with us to help you at this time of need. We will continue to send you food, water, tents, building materials, and we have also brought some seedlings for you farmers. The Agriculture Ministry has packed sweet potato seedlings and others, and it will be distributed to you.
There is no crop or vegetation left on the island. 300-kilometer winds and massive storm surges made little work of anything and everything in its path. 21% of livestock on Koro Island have also died. Bainimarama encouraged people in Asau, Tuatua, Mundu, Nadamaki, Kande, Sinuvada, Vatulele and others to work together in this time of crisis. 91 evacuation centers are active, sheltering 3,161 people. The Prime Minister says these people must overcome their grief and return to their homes during the day to clean up debris and damage and return to the centers to rest at night. RFMF personnel have been directed to involve the villagers in cleanup campaigns, even though many of them are still in shock from the cyclone and its aftermath.
To you, DISMEC officials and the RFMF working here to restore lives back to normal, please work with the people and try to get them out of the situation they are in, because now they are still in shock since last week, Saturday. So when you're doing cleanup, please involve the people with you. Let them work so they forget about the problems.
Food rations have been distributed to all 14 villages and 12 settlements. Commissioner Eastern Luke Morevalu says the government is doing its best.
Massive damages. Food ration is given to the people. Food ration is very important, that people should continue to eat, be strong, and at the same time move forward in terms of cleaning the debris in the villages and continue to rehabilitate themselves.
Water is available on the island through 6 dams, 7 creeks and 2 springs, but all drinking water has to be boiled to avoid contamination. Bainimarama's visit ended at about midnight last night. Ako si Tatale, FBC News.
Infants in cyclone-affected areas must be breastfed at all times to ensure that they are in the best of health. The Health Ministry is committed to ensuring that while rations are handed out, babies are not given infant formula or any other substitute to mother's milk. Kelly Vavala has the details.
Health Minister Chani Usamate has this morning signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. Usamate says mothers should continue breastfeeding their babies in this time of crisis. Infant formula and other powdered milk products could result in infections from unsafe water supply and sanitation.
While we're in an emergency situation, we need to make sure that we look after our children, that they get the right kind of food that they have, because it's not just about emergency, but it's also about what happens after that. So having this agreement in place and having everybody sign is something that is good for our young children and for the future generations. And we're very thankful to our partners.
The National Disaster Management Office has also signed the Memorandum of Understanding, making a commitment not to replace mother's milk with any substitute while delivering urgent food supplies. UNICEF says there is a misconception that mothers can't breastfeed adequately during emergencies because of stress or lack of nutrition.
There are many misconceptions about infant and young child feeding in emergencies, such as that mothers under stress cannot breastfeed, such as a misconception that it's a good time to substitute infant milk and that infant milk substitutes might be better than breast milk. Breast milk is always best, including in emergencies, and we have to do everything that we can to support the mothers to continue lactation. Again, breast is best even during emergencies.
Provision of adequate fluids and food for mothers must be a priority to help protect their health and well-being, as well as that of their young children. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, New Zealand Foreign Minister Murray McCully promises long-term assistance for cyclone rehabilitation.
I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Recreative Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Filipa from Tavo Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Finance Minister Said Kayum is disappointed with the Fiji National Provident Fund placing additional requirements for withdrawals related to Tropical Cyclone Winston. Said Kayum says there's no need for certification for any FNPF member who wants money to rebuild. The FNPF has followed directives and has removed all criteria. Ali Kimbia has more.
The Fiji National Provident Fund has been told to make it easier for members who are affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston to access their funds.
And the policy is that people who are members can go and withdraw $1,000 for immediate relief. There's no need for them to get any certification from the DO or any other person. They simply make the application and withdraw the $1,000.
The Prime Minister last week announced $1,000 withdrawal for FNPF and an additional $5,000 at a later stage if need be. Said Kayum says the arrangement with FNPF was for easy access to the money without any need for certification. He says people are already living in hardship and don't need this to be compounded by red tape.
Please contact us and ring up FNPF head office, or you can contact our office to make sure that none of the staff actually are not adhering to the processes. We also got a complaint this morning from the Nandi office people from Nandi regarding the Nandi office of FNPF, where apparently some of the staff were turning away people saying we don't have enough forms. They've again spoken to the chairman of FNPF and said they need to make the forms available.
A few hours after the Finance Minister spoke to FBC News on this issue, FNPF released a statement saying that all prerequisites have been removed. Board Chairman Ajith Kodogoda says all members affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston can apply for the $1,000 assistance. People can also apply to help immediate family members, and FNPF teams will no longer inspect or visit villages, settlement or members' houses to verify addresses. Kodogoda says while the FNPF understands there may be some abuse given the relaxation, the fund hope that a majority of its members will be genuinely assisted. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The New Zealand government is ready to help Fiji in every way possible as focus slowly turns to recovery from Tropical Cyclone Winston. New Zealand Foreign Minister Murray McCully today made a last-minute visit to Fiji to see the devastation firsthand and also meet with authorities on how best to help.
As damage assessment reports are slowly flowing in, it is apparent that the recovery work post-Tropical Cyclone Winston will be substantial. New Zealand Foreign Minister Murray McCully says they want to play an active part in the rehabilitation as well.
We have great confidence in the leadership that your disaster recovery management people have shown. We want to support them and make sure that the resources that we offer are those that are going to best help them.
McCully, who was in Fiji 10 days ago for foreign policy talks, says New Zealand feels for Fijians who are trying to get their lives back together after the destruction.
We obviously released relief supplies very early in the process and have had aircraft flying up here daily since that time. But this was an opportunity for me to meet with my counterpart and with the Minister responsible for the disaster response to make sure that we understand how we can best be of assistance in the next few days and then in the period of recovery that will take place after that.
The New Zealand government has so far provided $3.2 million in cash, other humanitarian aid and its defence force ships and aircrafts to help in relief efforts. Its naval vessel, the HMNZS Wellington, is already providing assistance in the Lau Group, and HMNZ Canterbury, with more facilities, is expected to arrive on Thursday. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Deeply involved in the Cyclone Winston recovery operations, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation is contributing 5% of the revenue from all paid advertisements to the Prime Minister's Cyclone Rehabilitation Fund. This was confirmed by FBC Chief Executive Officer Riaz Said Kayum today. Sainiani Boila has more.
In its ongoing effort to help all Fijians affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation has launched this initiative to rebuild lives.
We at FBC have decided that starting from tomorrow, any sales bookings that is made through FBC in terms of advertising from any business house, if it's booked and aired in the months of March and April, 5% of that revenue will go towards the Prime Minister's Rehabilitation Fund.
Fbctv will also rebroadcast half of all client schedules aired last week due to transmission problems caused by the cyclone.
To announce that we at FBC believe that it is important to look after all our clients, and we are therefore giving our clients the following. Due to the loss of signal caused by Cyclone Winston in the western and northern divisions and power disruptions, which may well have affected the number of viewers in the central division, while in no way the fault of the FBC will be rebroadcasting 50% of all clients' schedules that aired between the 20th of February to the 27th of February. This will commence when all the signals are completely restored.
Members of the FBC staff have also pledged to give up leave days owed, so their normal pay for those days will be contributed to the Rehabilitation Fund. Syed Kayum says hopefully this move will encourage other businesses and companies to chip in and help in the recovery of communities devastated by Tropical Cyclone Winston. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
TISI Sangam aims to assist 15,000 children affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston with school books and other stationery. General Secretary Damen Gounder says a tender was advertised over the weekend, with the Executive Council also agreeing to a cash donation of $25,000 to the Prime Minister's Disaster Relief Fund. This is in addition to providing school lunches for all those students affected in Ba and Raki over the next month.
We're looking at about 15,000 students, and there will be students all the way from Koro, maritime schools, and right up to Yasawa Islands, so that we can support everybody to get back to school.
Several TISI Sangam schools have been damaged in Lautoka, Ba, Tavo and Raki as a result of the severe Tropical Cyclone Winston, which has meant indefinite closures and a delayed start to classes for thousands of students. And in other stories, after a 4-year gap, February 29th gets its fleeting 24 hours of fame before being banished from the pages of our calendars until 2020, when the next leap year occurs. At the Colonial War Memorial Hospital in Suva, midwives had the pleasure of delivering 17 babies today. FBC News was lucky enough to meet 2 of them. 5 females and 12 males was the tally for deliveries as at 4 p.m. today. Little angel Kayla Alexis Boy made her grand entrance this morning. Her mom has decided that this little lady will celebrate her birthday on March 1st each year. Baby LJ arrived this afternoon, the biggest of the lot. He weighed in at a whooping 5.5 kilos and is the first boy in his family after 3 girls. His parents, who hail from Tongalevu village, say they're still in shock at his birth date and have yet to decide on which day to celebrate his special day. There are approximately 5 million leap year babies in the world celebrating their rare birthdays today. And on that note, sports is up next. Here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up in sports, Ben Ryan impressed with Jerry Tuwai's return to form. And Fiji Car Club look to venture onto new tracks. This and more coming up.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान कोरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल एग्रेट है कोरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है कोरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से साइमान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट
मिर्ची एफएम
it's hot.
Despite the troubles that plagued the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team upon its return from the Sydney Sevens, Coach Ben Ryan has an air of optimism around him after the announcement of his 14-member squad for the next two legs of the World Sevens Series. FBC Sports caught up with Ryan at the Stronger Than Winston Sevens fundraising appeal tournament at Uprising Resort over the weekend, where he gave us a little insight into two players who were previously in doubt for tournament duties but have made the final cut. Rohit Deo with the details.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Pio Tuai was suffering from food poisoning and there were question marks over his availability for the next two legs. Coach Ben Ryan has included him in his squad, knowing this time around he has a lot more to play for, with his house being damaged during tropical Cyclone Winston.
He's in the 14, and whether he plays in Vegas or we hold him back to Vancouver, I mean, his roof also blew off his house last week as well. He's had another tough fortnight for Pio. It doesn't seem to get many breaks these days, so we'll get him over in Vegas, and we'll see how he is sort of midweek next week.
Another player who will be out to silence critics is Nipi halfback Sermei Tuai. He was ruled out for the next two legs by many, but proved at training that he deserved to be in the travelling squad.
He's actually had a very strong week. He was another one that I was thinking that perhaps we might be resting him, but he came through very well in all the fitness and all the training the last few days, so he's certainly looking as though he's coming back to the form that we expect.
The Fiji side leave for USA for the Las Vegas tournament tonight. Fiji has been pooled with Argentina, Samoa and France at the event. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
And of course you can watch the entire Las Vegas Sevens live on Fbctv. The All Black Sevens squad has been named for the North American leg of the World Series in Las Vegas and Vancouver. Liam Messam, Tim Mickelson, Sherwin Stowers, Buden Waka and Sonny Bill Williams lead the charge. New Zealand is currently joint leaders on the series table, tied on 69 points with Fiji and South Africa, following back-to-back wins in Wellington and Sydney. The All Blacks Sevens side have not won in Las Vegas and will go there with a new-look team with 5 players from the last tournament returning to Super Rugby duties. The Fiji Car Club is looking to take its regular quarter-mile drag race events to other parts of the country. So far, all the club's events have been held at Nanuku Airstrip in Deumba. Club President Rizal Hanif says plans are in place to branch out from its traditional home ground.
We're trying to have one drag race up at Western side. Obviously, now we are talking with the authorities. If they give us permission, we'll go ahead and use one of the public roads to race.
The Fiji Car Club raised $2,000 during a Cyclone Winston relief fundraiser yesterday, which will be donated to the Prime Minister's Relief and Rehabilitation Fund. Marcus Rashford's extraordinary start to life in the Manchester United senior team continued today with 2 goals at Old Trafford to help the Red Devils claim a 3-2 victory over Arsenal in the English Premier League. Meanwhile, Leicester City leads the points table with 56 points after 27 rounds. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
After a lapse of 4 years, the South Pacific Stock Exchange today recorded a new company with the listing of Vision Investment Limited. The company has become the second largest to be listed on the SPSE behind Amalgamated Telecom Holdings Limited, which occupies 13.91% of the overall market in Fiji. The listing is significant because it will see an injection of much-needed liquidity in the market. VIL now has 103,769,425 ordinary shares quoted on the SPSE and closed trading at a price of $1.70.
This latest listing has created a greater supply of shares in the market, and this augurs well for our overall capital market strategy target of reaching 100,000 new investors by the year 2020.
Fine weather apart from isolated showers was experienced over most of the country today. Temperatures were in the low 30s around Fiji. The fine weather will prevail again tomorrow, apart from a chance of cloudy conditions in Suva and Savu Savu, along with the chance of scattered showers. And the further outlook is for Tuesday, it's pretty much more of the same. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. And recapping the main stories for tonight, death toll from tropical cyclone Winston now stands at 43, with 4 people missing. Koro Island still reeling from the devastation of the Category 5 cyclone, and New Zealand commits to long-term assistance in recovering from tropical cyclone Winston damage. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us by Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tavwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Sala, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.